Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial. Today's review will be Spree, starring Joe Carey. If you've seen Joe in a few other movies, he played in Molly's Game. He plays on Stranger Things as Steve Harrington. He's going to be in a movie that's supposed to. It probably would have been out if it wasn't for COVID, but it's a movie that's coming out called Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds. Other than that, he's the main character of this movie, and the other main character because it's about. You also see what is this guy name? Man, David Arquette. How can I forget him? From all the Scream movies, David Arquette, and David Arquette plays as his dad. His name is Chris Kunkle, and Joe Carey's character is Kurt Kunkle, and the only other main character in this movie that's of a significance is Shashir Samada. She plays as Jesse Adams. So this movie is a thriller, and it's an interesting movie where it's taking a different, like, in your normal slasher films, killing type movies. It's I don't want to say a comedic approach or humorous approach, but it's coming from a different angle that almost is seen. It's not no. He don't have special powers. He just snapped, and this will make you think about how society is, and it's a lot of people that are going untreated out in this world and are disturbed, and they don't get the attention that they needed, especially medical attention. And so this guy, he's grown up. His wife and mom, I say his wife, his mom and dad had a divorce, and he chose to stay with the mom. The mom cheated on the dad back in the day, but the dad was kind of like a loser, and so he was basically just finding his way, and trying to find his way on a social media, and he can't get no buzz. He do a lot of different videos. He's always, but nobody won't really pay attention to him enough to have a real huge following. So he used to babysit in the neighborhood, and some of the kids he babysitted are now older, and one of them particularly, Bobby, he's big on YouTube and social media. So he kind of like, even though he babysits him, but he kind of looks up to him because he's popular and he's not. Nevertheless, it shows him getting dark, where he's trying everything to try to get noticed, but nothing is working. And then Bobby is trying to tell him, man, you need to do stuff to get your buzz going. You know what I'm saying? But he kind of treating him like a inhumane in a sense, not necessarily so harsh, but just like you're a loser type. So he has this idea, I'm gonna go viral. So he decides he gonna drive for Spree. That's just like the movie's version of Uber and Lyft. So he puts all these cameras in his car, and he figure, I'm gonna record my time. And he call it Lessons of Life, and he just gonna record his day-to-day interacting with people. So when it wasn't really getting no buzz like that, he had this idea, I'm gonna take it up a notch. So it shows him his mom going into the house, and it shows the camera view, and he goes back in the house from the camera view inside the car, and he comes back out with this jewel, and he puts the jewel up on the dashboard, and he drives off. Now he see him picks up this first passenger, and the first passenger is kind of like um not not real cool, and at the longer they talk and ride, the passenger gets more and more. He become racial and told Kurt, you're kind of like a loser in a sense. So Kurt was like, hey man, you want some water? At first he denied the water, but then he said, I'm kind of parched now. So if you ever seen the trailer, you see Kurt where he runs a stop sign and almost gets hit by a car. That's that moment right there. And so the passenger pretty much said, hey, yeah, I'll take some water. He took some water. Now, he laced this water. Now, I forgot what he laced it with. Whatever he's lacing the water with, it's whatchamacallit. So he took a needle, punctured the water, and put whatever he did, he put inside the water bottle, and then took a glue gun. Um, Took a glue gun and sealed the hole with the glue, so you wouldn't even know that that was tampered with. Now that right there alone is enough to say, hey, I'm not accepting water from nobody. If it ain't your own water, that can be, how many places could you be going to and you thinking, somebody offering you some water regularly in a cup, you like, nah. They say I got bottled water, you like, okay, I take it. And you take some bottled water and it's laced. So that's like, man. So especially in an Uber or Lyft. So hey, you never know the people you come in contact with day to day, that what they're going through, what they're experiencing, and they might just have it and just say they want to wreak havoc on anybody, don't care or whatever. So that guy, he drank the water and he basically he dies, but you don't know he's dying. You just like, well, what happened? He chokes, and then it goes to the next driver, and it's some woman. She's a real estate, and pretty much same type situation. She ended up drinking the water, and he's filming all this. So the people who is watching him, they think he's just like clowning. He got this all staged or whatever, but he's still not drawing big views. So he figured, every time I gotta take it up a notch. So the real estate woman, he got her, and he texted whoever she was with, basically saying, she wasn't gonna make the flight, and he ditched her body wherever he ditched it at. And so he goes and picks up another guy. Now this guy is kind of like an a-hole. He got his music playing. Dude is like, listen, I don't want to listen to your music, just drive, you know what I mean? So he's real arrogant and ignorant. Meanwhile, this dude is in a shared spree. So this is where, like, you go pick up multiple people so you can have a cheaper fare. So he picks up the Jessica Adams. Now the dude in the back of the car recognizes her, and now he's already obnoxious, and he at first when they pull up, she instantly like, ain't no way I'm getting in the car with them. Then the driver, Kurt, he convinced her to get in the car, and the passenger that was already in there, he pretty much, hey, I know you, I recognize you, you're big on social media, you're the comedian or whatever. So and then he starts filming, but he's real obnoxious. He trying to hit on her, she disses him. So pretty much Kurt is like, oh, you got a big following? Oh man, how about you tag me in, and so you can help my following, whatever. And a person in social media who has a big following, they pretty much don't just want to tag everybody because they built that however they built it, and people pay to have them tag and post stuff and stuff like that. So they just don't want to just do it for free. So a lot of them, you know what I'm saying? So, she kind of blowing them off, and he's like, hey, I got these cameras in here as for protection, and, everything is being filmed, and just, I want my followers to know how'd you build your following or whatever. So she's kind of staying involved, and she's like, man, I need to get out of here because the dude is obnoxious. And then she starts recording the dude who was obnoxious or whatever. So, she grabbed the water, and he was trying to tell, because he kind of liked her. He like, nah, don't drink that water. And she's like, why? And she end up spraying the guy in the back seat with the water. So when she sprayed him with the water, when she sprayed him with the water, of course, after they pulled off, he started getting choked up. So Kurt was pretty much like, "Yo, you need to get out of my car. Don't bark from my car." So when he got him out the car, and he was, he said, "I gotta use the bathroom anyway. I give you a 1." Kurt drove up and then ran him over with the car. And then still no views. He gets no views. Nobody's really paying attention. Now you got the guy Bobby, who the young kid Bobby, who's been kind of like dissing him the whole time and telling like, "Dude, give it up. You're worthless," like, or whatever. So he's really going through it. He's getting darker, and he's pretty much he's like, "Man, I gotta step it up a notch. I gotta step it up a notch." And so dude is telling him like, "Yo, that girl, comedian girl, she got a show tonight, and so you need to you know what I mean, she's popular or whatever." So in his mind, he like, you see somehow he's gonna end up at her show because they keep promoting and she's got a show tonight. So he's like, "All right, I gotta take it up a notch." So he goes and grabs just 3 people. It was like a couple and a girlfriend, and they out just trying to have a venture party. He like, "Look, man, I'll take y'all out to a place y'all ain't never been before." They like, "We with it. We just trying to do whatever." So he is recording all this. The one girl, in the process, he has a drill in the back of the car. So they find his drill. He grabbed his drill, tell him leave his drill alone. So he has 2 of them like, "Yo, y'all want to have fun? Go ahead and stick your head out the moonroof." So they standing up in the moonroof. The other girl's in the passenger side, and she's looking out the window. And so he busts through this gate, and they like, "I thought y'all wanted to have adventure." So what he does, he puts the moonroof where they're stuck in the moonroof with the glass or whatever. They can't move, and when they can't move, he takes them where his wild dogs at, and the wild dogs, of course, jump on top of the car and chew them up. And then the girl that was in the passenger, he drilled her with his drill. And all that, he didn't make no mess inside his car. And, so that part was like kind of fugazi, but whatever, saying. So that's the next kill. So he still ain't getting no views. And he pretty much like at his wit's end. Nobody's following me. The little kid Bobby is dissing him still. So it shows Jessica Adams. She's live talking about the show she ready to do, and it shows somebody showing up to her door. The way the camera view, and it shows Kurt is live as well. He's live as well. So it looks like he's the one pulling up to her house, because it shows him pulling up, and you think it's him at her door, but it's her. I don't want to say manager. He more like a clinger on to her. He's fascinated by her. He wants to jump her bones and or whatever, but he helps her get gigs and stuff like that. So it could be like a manager in a sense, but nevertheless, that's who's showing up to her door. But Kurt is showing up to the kid's Bobby house, and he's pretty much telling Bobby like, "Listen, man, me and you know what I'm saying, I'm having an epiphany. He was trying to really kind of come clean." So Bobby's been telling him the whole day like, "You suck, but what you're doing is evil. Like, I don't know if it's true or not what you're doing, but it's evil." So Kurt was already had it. So he pulled out a knife and stabbed Bobby. He stabbed the little kid. Well, he's not a little kid. He's probably like 18 or whatever, 18, 19 or whatever. So he stabs him. But this is all live on. Bobby went live basically to diss him and say, "Yo, he's a reject, whatever," and he stabbed him live on Kurt's World Live and on Bobby's Live or whatever. So he stabbed him. So Bobby fans is like, "Yo, y'all need to stop playing. Like, this ain't cool or whatever." And so then Bobby was like, "Yo, this is not fake." And then he pulled out a gun, and he couldn't get the gunshot off. Well, he got a shot off, but he didn't. hit him or anything. So Kurt took the gun from him and ended up killing Bobby right there. So now he's at Bobby's house dressing up, and Bobby's clothes, took a shower in his house, and then the fans is like, yo, you need to get off of you need to get out of Bobby's house, and you know what I mean, you're trying to steal his swag and stuff like that. Meanwhile, Kurt's dad is now calling him, so nobody's paying attention because Kurt don't got no real followers, so nobody's paying attention to what's going on in Kurt's house or whatever. Nobody's paying attention. So I mean, to what he's doing in social media. So Kurt dad was like, yo, I need a ride, and so I got a gig at this DJ whatever, and Kurt's like, no, I'm not fooling with you or whatever. So the dad's like, come on, I need you to give me a ride, and I got this DJ Uno. So once Kurt names the DJ Uno, the people who still watching him on the live is like, oh, DJ Uno's the truth, DJ Uno's the truth. So you need to go take us to see DJ Uno. So he's fueled by the society of social media. So he's fueled where he is. This is funeral. Okay, he's keep going, and so now he shows up he picks his dad up, and his dad sees that he got a gun, and he like, well, I told you about guns. What you need a gun for, or whatever, And so he doesn't really respect his dad because his dad was never really there in his life, and so they get to the club. The club is not popping. DJ Uno was there, and DJ Uno, he basically said, yo, my son got a following, and, it'd be nice if you can hashtag you, or whatever. She's like, yeah, I will, whatever. But the people on the social media was pretty much like, she's ghosting you, Kurt. She's ghosting you, man. Like, she's not going to hashtag you. So he just is like, all right, I'm out. I'm tired of this. I'm going to Jessica Adams' show. I'm tired of this. So he leaves, but before he left, DJ Uno hurry up and come grab him and said, basically, yo, man, take me to LA and to the taco shop, and if you take me to the taco shop, give me some tacos, I'll hashtag you. So she's live during this whole time. He gets to the taco shop. He goes and gets some tacos. Meanwhile, she's in the car still filming, and she drinks some water. Now she's in the passenger side. She drinks the water, and she finds he had a gun. That gun he had, and she was taking pictures with the gun, and on Instagram and stuff like that. And she drank the water, and then she started to choke out, and then she passed out, or you think she's dead rather. And so he gets back in the car. He looking at her like, oh snap, like. So he's eating her food, but she's still alive. So he's looking like, yo, yeah, Uno wanted me to take over. I'm just eating the food. Cops pull up. So the cops pull up, and so when the cops pull up, they look at him as being suspicious, and they see a asleep girl. They looking at her like something's up. So they go get their food. He takes the bottle she had. He tosses it out the door. So the cops come over and say, hey, man, what's your deal? Whatever. Step out of the car. They get him out of the car and checking him. He stumbled out of the car, so they think he's drunk, but he's not drunk. But so they have him take the DUI test and all that. So out of nowhere, while he's taking the DUI test, it's two cops. One is by where Uno is dead, that you think at the moment, and the other cop is giving him the test. Uno comes up out of her trance or whatever she was in, or she shook whatever he put in that water off, and she came up out of it like and as soon as she came up out of it, she just seen a person. So she shot the gun, and she shot the cop in the head. She shot the cop in the head. The cop fell on the car, and then the other cop looking like, yo, whoa, what's up? Like, so the cop is chasing her and left Kurt hurry up, shuts the door, grabs the gun, and he rolls out. But now at this moment, the police is chasing him. So this is where it get weird because it doesn't. It just shows the police chasing him, so you don't know how did all of a sudden the cops know to chase him. So he's chasing, and he end up ditching the cops. He goes to an area where the homeless is, and he was basically like, "Yo, nobody cares about the homeless. You know, you could do anything to the homeless, and nobody would care." And so he he said you could just ride right over the homeless and get away with it. So that's what he decides to do. I'm gonna ride over some homeless in their tent. So that was crap right there. And his car flipped over. So you're thinking he's done for, but now it transfers to Jessica's um, big show. So she's at her show, and it's supposed to be some people that's connected at her show. So it comes up, and she's up, and you now see her. She's live on her platform. Now she's at her show. You see her live, and now she ready to do her show. And Wyatt is there. I mean, I said Wyatt. Kurt is there, and he's getting ready to finish her off. He got his gun, and he gonna make a splash and kill her right there in front of live people. But in her message of her performance, she basically said, she was ragging on him a little bit, but she was saying, I used to be a person like Kurt, and we all, we get in social media and we try to live up to what other people think of us and other people's views, and she was like, after the day, I'm done with social media. So she slammed her phone down, kicked it, and that changed him right there. So now that made him don't want to do the stuff he can do because he figured like, yo, she's right. So he hurried up and bounced and left, and he ended up leaving and jumping in, not Spree Uber. So like I said, it's Uber and Lyft. So Spree is one company, and I think the other company is GoGo. Meanwhile, when he's in his GoGo, he's speaking with a guy, and of course he ended up killing that guy and taking over that guy's GoGo car, and he's doing his GoGo rounds. Meanwhile, Jessica's after her show. She with the guy that's trying to jump her bones, and basically she like, yeah, get me back to my house. What I'm saying, we're gonna go back to my house, and he's all geeked, and he's like, did you call the Uber? I mean, well, GoGo or whatever, because by this time, Spree done found out that Kurt has been doing all these things, so they shutting down all the whole Spree network or whatever. So GoGo was only available. So now GoGo was available, and then Jessica hurry up and runs out to the car and sticks her middle finger up, basically telling the dude like, you thought you was gonna get some. And meanwhile, it's Kurt who's in driving the car. And then, they have they have a conversation. And so basically she was like, well, yo, why you not taking me home? Didn't he give you the address? He was like, yeah, you are going home. You going to my home. And she didn't say anything. She just sat there. So she pretty much, I guess he was getting near to his house. And so he took and wrapped, Jessica takes a string or something and try to choke Kurt out. And so when she tried to choke Kurt out, he crashed, but then he hurried up and jumped in the back seat and knocked her out. And so once he knocks her out, he was out front of the house or whatever. So at first he tried to run, and then she thinking like, nah, I'm gonna get him or whatever. So she ends up crashing into the house, his house. And so at the time, she's in the house, Kurt is there, and he runs off. And so, she should have just backed out, but the car wouldn't move. So she gets out the car, and she's inside the house, and she's hidden. The dad comes out, and the dad is like, Chris Kunkle was looking like, hey man, I know you're high or you're drunk or something. You busted in my house. What did you do? Now he's looking at his ex-wife dead on the ground. So now you like, oh snap, Kurt killed his mom. When he went back in the house, see what you couldn't see, what the camera didn't let us see. We was viewing him going back in the house with his mom from the car, so you couldn't hear a sound. But when it replayed it back, it shows him going into the house. Now you can hear a sound. You can hear the mom screaming or whatever. So he killed his mom, and he came out. He shot his dad in the back first, and then the dad turned around, and he basically gunned his dad down. And so Jessica slipped back in the car, and when she sits back in the car, he started aiming the gun at her, but he didn't have no more bullets. So she tried to back the car up and couldn't. So then she just drove forward and then ended up smacking him against the wall and pretty much pressured him, and then he spit out some blood, so you're thinking he might be dead. So now the screen switches to him saying, guys, this has been real, and this has been experienced, and this is a lesson. And so you thinking, no, Jessica, get out the car and run. The people on the internet, now Jessica is live still. All this is going on, and people like, yo, you need to check and see if he's dead. She goes up and check and see if he's dead, and of course he gets up and he grabs her. And when he grabs her, she takes the phone and bashes his head in until he died. And then the people was like, yo, you need to take a selfie with him. Now, this is social media. People are sick. And so she grabs his head, pulls it up, and takes a picture of him with a selfie. And that's pretty much the movie. But it shows basically after that, she became like her career took off. She became like a hero. She stopped a psychotic serial killer that was going on a spree killing people, and strong woman power. And it showed after that he finally took off. Like, everybody tuned in to his lessons and everything that he was talking about, and all the videos he was doing. It finally took off, and it was just sad that it takes for something like that. But the only thing is also you thinking somebody might do that and think to duplicate what he was trying to do and be a copycat. So you gotta watch for stuff like that. So it was definitely a interesting film to watch. It was a thriller. In my 4-star rating system, I'm gonna give this movie a 3 out of 4 stars, man. It was a decent film. Surprisingly decent film to watch. I can see where somebody could go 2.5 out of 4, but I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 4. It was a decent film to watch, and once you pay attention to everything that's going on and the reality of what the message that's coming across, and the reality of how true this very situation could very well happen, and just you never know when you're out there what somebody else is going through, having a crappy attitude and just treating people like crap. You never know what's going to tip somebody off or whatever, and maybe you just being treating somebody like a human could spare your life. So that's the most thing that you probably could take from that. Subscribe to the channel, definitely like this video, leave a comment. Till next time.